I love my husband, Brent, very much, but my ex-husband wants me back. I've never stopped loving Chad. Is it possible to love two men at the same time?
I thought it would be wine and roses for the rest of my life. Boy, was I wrong. Chad has come into our marriage as a snake and just tried to destroy it.
Every day I was telling myself that I was over Chad. I knew I wasn't.
I think I pretended that she was over him more than she said she was.
I was at work and the phone rang and it was Chad. When I heard his voice on the phone, I started breathing hard. And he said, "I'll never forgive myself for what I've done. It was never your fault. And I'm sorry." I felt like the love of my life, my best friend, was resurrected. And he said, "Let me ask you a question. Do you still love me?" And I just started to cry a lot. And he knew. You know, inside I was dancing and crying. Wonderful, he loves you. Finally, he's back. You're married. So what?
What do you think about now?
It's gut-wrenching. It's heartbreaking. There's not enough emotions to describe it. First thing, all I want to say is all I want to do is be with my wife. I love her so much.
Are you mad at Chad?
Yes.
And are you mad at Orlena?
Yes.
What do you think about this? What do you say to yourself in your most private moments when you're thinking about this?
That all my feelings are unfair. That it's unfair that I left Chad when I said I wouldn't, and it's unfair that I brought Brent into this when, I made vows to both of them. I'm completely torn down the center.
When you sent him annulment papers, you didn't want him to sign them.
Oh, no.
You didn't want an annulment.
No.
You were just playing a game. You were trying to give him a wake-up call. You were trying to...
I was trying to do anything to get his attention. That's all I wanted.
And he called you bluff and signed them.
Absolutely.
Okay. And when you started talking to Brent, did you tell him that you were married?
Brent and I started talking via email, and I told him that I was in this long relationship. I didn't tell him that I was going through a divorce. And when the very first time we met for lunch, I said, "I know I told you I explained about this relationship, but I was not clear. We were actually married, and I'm in the middle of this divorce, and I wanted to say it to your face. I didn't want to say it over a letter."
Okay. Did you get out of your relationship with Chad before you were ready to?
Absolutely.
Did you get into this relationship with Brent before you were ready to?
Yes.
So you've got two half-finished situations that are both bubbling.
Yes.
At this point. What do you want her to do?
As difficult as it is to say, I want her to be happy. And I'd like to believe that I'm the man that will make her happy forever. But if I'm not, then I guess the other alternative.
Why did you marry her?
I love her with all my heart, and I couldn't imagine living one day the rest of my life without her. And I wanted to believe that everything was perfect. She told me about Chad, and she eventually told me they were going through an annulment, and I guess I was blinded by not realizing that she was still in love with him because of how much affection and adoration she showed me. And when I asked her to marry me, she said yes instantly, and I thought marriage would change everything. I thought she would get over Chad, and she would move on, and we're going to live happily ever after.
What kind of husband has he been?
Wow. Initially, I would say flawless, amazing, supportive, creative, attentive. There's a million things I could say about him. I mean, he's just been wonderful. But as soon as this happened, and I came to him as softly as I could and said, "This is what happened and this is how I'm feeling." And his reaction made me doubt everything that we had, because kind of the things that I was leaning on as far as our relationship, foundational things, his support and his self-sacrifice and the things that make me love him, instantly depended upon my behavior.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.